First, knit the zigzag row across both beds, and I use a fairly large stitch size for this. It isn't important because this is just waste yarn. Insert the cast-on comb, pull the wire back, and then when you push the wire through again, make sure you only catch one loop at the very left edge of the comb. Once you've attached the comb, just hang the weights. And then I usually knit about 8 or 10 rows, again with a fairly loose stitch size, just to establish a base of waste yarn on the machine. Next, cut the waste yarn and tie on some ravel cord. I have a cone of some nylon that I bought years ago at a tag sale, but you could use some heavy cotton or you could use the ravel cord that comes with the machine. I just like knotting it on and pulling it through so that it's secured rather than having to hold it by hand when I'm working double bed. Now you're going to set the carriage to slip going from right to left on the main bed and to knit on the ribber, and then reverse that setting so that now the main bed knits and the ribber slips. Going to cut the ravel cord, tie on the main yarn, and just as you did before, pull it down between the beds and catch it around a clamp. And then set the carriages, both of them, to the smallest stitch size. On my machine, it's an R. And I'm going to knit a new zigzag row right on top of the ravel cord, as though the other rows never happened. I don't need to hang the comb, though, and this is what saves this edge. You're going to work 2 circular rows, and then slowly bring the stitch size up 1 dot per row as you work so that the rib increases from the tightest to the normal stitch size as you knit. It's this gradual increase of stitch size that creates a really, really beautiful ribbed edge. So I'm raising the size here 1 dot at a time, and I'm going to get up to the stitch size that I want to use for my rib, and then I'll just continue knitting. In this case, it's a stitch size 2 on both carriages. When you're done knitting the rib, you're going to transfer all of the stitches to the main bed. If in fact you're going to be using or following this with a single bed fabric. I'm using a double-eyed bodkin here, which is not my favorite way to transfer stitches, but it's what comes with all of your ribbers. Next time I'm going to show you some other ways of transferring stitches a little more easily and a whole lot faster. There's your completed rib. And when we take it off the machine, I'm going to snip the ravel cord at the looped end and then pull the 2 straight pieces right out. The waste yarn will separate cleanly from the main knitting, and you're going to see a really perfect, beautiful edge that will hold its shape because it was knitted on a very small stitch size, wasn't distorted at all by having to hang a comb, and wasn't damaged at all either by maybe having some very tight stitches at the beginning. See you next time.